All right, man. We had three games last night. We had the Memphis Timberwolves game three. We had the Mavericks Jazz game three, and then we also had the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets game three as well. And all three of them were phenomenal games. They all came down pretty much to the last minute. But first, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the game by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Um, this game, I kind of tuned in and out of because when Timberwolves went up big, I kind of tuned it out and doing the Mavs game, and then the Memphis came back, and then I watched it again, and then Timberwolves got another 20-point lead, so I tuned out again, thinking there's no way they blow it twice, right? And they did. The Minnesota Timberwolves blew two 20-point leads in one game. The Memphis Grizzlies won this game twice. Like they should be up 3-1 right now because of the performance they put on. I don't understand how this happens from the Minnesota Timberwolves perspective. And look, like they got some great players on the team. I'm not trying to throw any disrespect, but I think this is part of the players' fault, part of the coach's fault, and overall just like poor game planning and just I think their cockiness got to them this game. Because I remember there was a clip, Karl-Anthony Towns was talking to one of his players, and they were up by like 20 in the second quarter, and he goes, "Yeah, we're in Minnesota now. We're in Minnesota now." And well, Memphis knew that, and they came back and they whooped your ass, at the end of the game. So, I think this might be an eye opener for Minnesota to like realize they have to lock in the entire game, especially when it's the playoffs. But again, shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies. They also they won this game. Minnesota didn't just lose this game. Memphis won this game. So starting off on the Memphis side, John Morant had a first career triple double in the playoffs, and I think that was also the first Memphis Grizzlies triple double in the playoffs. So shout outs to him, 16, 10, and 10, and he didn't really shoot that well. I think he went 5 of 18. Like I think that's just over 20%. Not the greatest performance, but from what I've watched from John Morant in the past 3 games, he's proving to me that he's going to be the best player in the league in a couple years, if not like next year, because he adjusts his game on a game to game basis. I remember game one when they lost, he was really trying to drive it in the paint. He ended up taking like 30 shots in the paint and ended up losing the game. And then after that, he realized that that's not going to work against this team, so he slowed it down, ran more of the pick and roll, and instead of taking it in all the way, he hit his roll man a lot more often, and that's leading to better success for the Timberwolves. For the Memphis Grizzlies. Desmond Bane, great game, 26 points. He set a playoff record for threes for Memphis Grizzlies, so shout out to him. And Brandon Clark off the bench with 20 and 8. Very solid production from your backup big. Steven Adams is like not playing in this series because he's just not effective versus the scheme the Timberwolves are playing. Not saying he's a bad player, but you probably won't be seeing him for the rest of this series. And then let's see what he's going to look like later down the line when they advance. Because I'm pretty confident that the Grizzlies are going to advance in this series. Really, no standout performance here. Beverly had a great start to the game. Edwards, Russell did their things. Put up 20 each. But was really interesting to me because I wasn't paying attention to this game like completely. Towns finished with 4 shot attempts. Like that just blows my mind. Like he's such a skilled offensive player, and I'd say he's the third best center in the league, but behind Embiid and Jokic. And he's so skilled offensively. I don't understand how you go a full 48 minutes and only take 4 shots. Like I don't like I don't know if that's a coaching thing or if that's a mental thing for him. But I hope that in game 4 he tries to get some redemption and he comes out shooting because he can shoot the rock, and I think that's what he's going to need to do in order for the T-Wolves to stay in the series. Moving on from that, we got the Jazz and Dallas game. And I'm just gonna keep it a buck. If the Jazz lose this series, they're gonna blow it up. I think people kind of already knew that the Jazz were having some turmoil and they weren't really performing to expectation, leading to some speculation on what they're going to do this offseason. And I think this pretty much seals the deal if they do end up losing this series. There's still a lot of time for them to come back. But I remember when Luka went out, they said he's going to miss 2 first games and they're going to bring him back for game 3. Well, I think Luka's almost ready to go. I just think that the Mavericks think they can win this series without Luka, and they're looking like it. Brunson's looking like a star. he's putting every team on notice right now, saying, whatever you think about paying me, I'm going to ask for more because he's a unrestricted free agent. Brunson wanted a 4-year, $80 million deal from the Mavericks. Mavericks said no, and I think they're regretting it because he's going to get paid more than that. I could see him signing some kind of 4-year, maybe $120 million contract, somewhere around that ballpark, because that kid can play. He can, he can really ball out. So getting into out of some of the stats here, Brunson with 31-5, great efficiency as well. You had Spencer Dinwiddie with 20. I remember he dunked on Gobert. That was definitely an exciting play for sure. And also Spencer Dinwiddie is playing really well since he got to Dallas. Like when that Kristaps Porzingis trade first went down, I was kind of like, I didn't think it was a lateral move for anyone. I think it was kind of just swapping bad contracts, but this has proven to benefit the Mavericks very, very well. And now if they do lose Brunson in free agency, they do have that other combo guard in Dinwiddie who will play nicely besides Luka. Again, great bench production from them. Klebo at 17. David Bertans, the other guy they got in the trade, he put up 15. And the Mavericks pretty much just got hot from 3 and never cooled off. That's what sealed the deal for this game. Shout out to them for the W. Then on the Utah side, Gobert kind of got played off the floor. They're just the Mavericks, defensive scheme and offensive scheme to kind of go at Gobert and get him out of position. So the Mavericks can succeed and worked very well. And Quinn Snyder ended up having to pull Gobert pretty often out of the game. And once he did that, it just really opened up the lane for dribble drive penetration from the Mavs. And they ended up sealing the deal. Mitchell at 32, Gobert at 15. Bojan Bogdanovic had 24. A great game from him. And that's pretty much about it. Mike Conley, 21. It was still a good game. Utah has been in this series the whole time, but they've just it seems like the Mavs have control over it. Especially if Luka comes back this series, I mean it's going to be a wraps. So I think we're going to see some big things in Utah this summer. And this series kind of puts a nail in the coffin if they do lose because the Mavericks are beating them without their best player. So that kind of wraps up that game. Now moving on to the final game of the day. Man, I feel so bad for Nikola Jokic because he had a great regular season. Put up MVP caliber numbers. He's probably going to win MVP. And now when it's playoff time, people are scheming against him. And he's having phenomenal games and still losing just because he doesn't have the talent around him. I saw a stat on the TV last night that Aaron Gordon's averaging 7 points in this series. He had a good game last night, but the first 2 games, he averaged 7 points. That's not going to get it done in any playoff series versus any team, especially the Golden State Warriors, who have found their groove at the right moment. So, keeping the topic of Denver, Jokic had a crazy game with 37, 18, 5, and 3 steals. Shot efficiently too, shot 63% from the field. Love to see that. Aaron Gordon had 18 and 12, a great game from him. And that's pretty much about it. It's been the Jokic show, and then last night it was the Jokic and Aaron Gordon show for them. And that's pretty much been what the series has rounded out to be. There's really not much they can do. They're going to be a killer when Jamal Murray and Michael Porter come back next season. Hopefully they can stay healthy, and that's a whole new team for Denver. This series is pretty much over with the Warriors going up 3-0 last night. But Denver has a lot to look forward to. Just them making the playoffs, given the circumstances, is an incredible feat. They just again ran into a super hot team at the wrong time in the playoffs. But they're gonna have a good, they're gonna be able to reload and get all their guys back, and then hopefully have a deep playoff run next season. But it's pretty much over for Denver. So moving on to the Golden State side, the Jordan Poole party is still here. He's having a monstrous series. Hey, Klay Thompson looked really, really good last night too. He had 26, shooting of 8 of 12, hit 6 threes. That's great production. Great production from Klay Thompson. Really looking like he's getting his legs back, and he is starting to be able to move on the basketball court now, I feel like. And he's looking really, really nice. And like I said, this Golden State team is getting hot and figure things out at the right moment. In the playoffs. Draymond had a Draymond Green, 6'5", 10 assists, 2 steals, a block. Obviously playing defense on Jokic all game. And then Jordan Poole, another great game, 27 points, shooting 9 of 13 from the field. So he put up 27 points on 70% shooting from the field. That's just a crazy game. He kind of scared me a little bit because he had some kind of elbow, wrist, forearm injury, about halfway through the game. But luckily he came back and continued, picked up right where he left off when he got subbed out. Great performance from him. Steph Curry, again, he's the greatest six-man ever. He's really pushing for that award, this playoffs. He came off the bench with 30 minutes, dropped 27, a 9 of 17 from the field. And I think this might be the last game Steph comes off the bench, because he is on a minutes restriction, and he played 30 minutes, and now it's his restriction. But I feel like on minutes restriction, once you reach past the 30-minute threshold, I feel like there's not a minute restrictions above 30 minutes. You know what I'm talking about? There's no way a coach is oh, he has a 35-minute restriction. No, it doesn't happen. It's just I'm just gonna play my guys now. So I think Curry's gonna start again, for Game 4. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for the recap of April 21st for the for NBA games. Please like and subscribe, much appreciated. And if you made it this far in the video, comment down below. Jordan Poole Party. I'm out.